Does the last week mean that Arsenal will now win the league?
You know something? What last week done was it reaffirms to people that, listen, we're in there with a great chance, with a great squad. I think we've got the best squad in the league at the moment. I don't care what anyone says. And now it's up to the manager making sure that he puts the right piece on the pitch at the right time, simply because I've seen a couple of results where I think he should have started with different people and get the game done. But then he does his thing in respects of bringing people on as finishers.
He changed at Newcastle, didn't he? He was more positive at Newcastle.
He was more positive, and the thing we needed to be. Because I think that when you look at last year, I don't think there's one time that when Liverpool slipped up, we were able to benefit. We didn't do it. And I think that when we done that against Newcastle, it made us realise, OK, this is a step forward in respect of what you're trying to do to make sure that people see that you're definitely in this fight to stay as long as you can. Now that Arsenal are top, everyone's saying, oh, it's Arsenal's now because we've seen what's happening with Liverpool. I'm not right off City. But of course, Arsenal are in the driving seat, and now this is where we're going to see the mentality and how the players now finish this off. They've done it 3 times, finishing second. They know what to do. They've been chasing, obviously, City and Liverpool for the last few years. It's their time. So it's up to them now, mentally, to go and do it.
Different expectation, all right. Maybe they're expected to win it. No, maybe.
You know something? Right, I just
they shouldn't be afraid of saying that either. You know what I mean?
No, and this is the thing now. Arsenal are in the position.
I think you've got
to go and do it. And this is what I'm excited about it.
Do you think you need Gyökeres scoring more though? Because
you're always going to need people scoring.
If you look at Haaland for City, obviously Arsenal are getting a lot of goals around him, aren't they? Imagine if you put Haaland in Arsenal.
Any team, yeah.
Oh,
No. You put Haaland anywhere. Put him anywhere, especially in this kind of form. You know, in this kind of form.
I think Roy said about expectation there on Arsenal in the last week because of people. I'm not quite sure at this stage that will bring a pressure to them. I think if they're in that Arsenal dressing room now, I think even Mikel Arteta, their eyes should be wide open saying, that prize is actually there now. Yes. I think for the first time, I reckon they actually might just sit in that dressing room and think, there's a long way to go, but I actually think it's ours, this. And we've got to knuckle down and win it. I think generally they must be thinking that, like, almost like, eyes are too big for your belly, it's there.
The only thing that can stop you is that thing that's probably stopped other teams in the past, where you get to March, April, and you want it so much, and the support want it so much.
That's where Liverpool need to hang on the shoulder.
I think at the moment, Liverpool aren't Liverpool at the moment. And I agree with you, what you said. I think we've all said it, haven't we, that I think Arsenal have got the best squad. They're looking obviously better than Liverpool right now. And Liverpool might take a few months, to integrate new players.
They'll come and do a bit.
They'll come back, I would imagine that. But I think what you used to do, I think Ferguson used to say, if you're sort of 3 or 4 points off the lead in getting into January.
With the team that haven't won it as well.
Especially.
Exactly. And I think if Liverpool could find themselves, even if they were 5 or 6 points behind you, even sort of in February.
He wants it more than that,
right? He's talking quite negatively about Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not speaking negatively about Liverpool. I think Liverpool will get better because I don't think their actual points they've got on the board, they probably don't deserve for their actual performances in some ways when you're watching them. And I think there will be still moments before Christmas where they drop points in games you don't expect it. Of course, Arsenal drop points, that's football. But I do think if Liverpool could almost do that, and City, that sort of Manchester United thing of old that you used to do, and maybe just wait there. Do you think
Bournemouth, don't be writing Bournemouth off.
Yeah,
without a
Bournemouth
doubt.
are doing well.
You know what I mean? Ideally, what you want is Arsenal to run away with it. I mean, run away and then, to a point where even if you lose a couple of games...
That's unlikely, right?
This is what I'm saying. But this is what I'm saying. To
win your first one, you very rarely just run away with it and blitz everyone. I can't see that happening.
Yeah, but you just mentioned about picking a utopian manager. I'm trying to pick a utopian scenario.
Well, that'd be... Right? Yeah, that's perfect.
Right, so what I'm saying is, that's how I'd love it to go, Roy. Yeah. It doesn't go like that.
No.
So what we're seeing with our team is that we've had the experience the last 3 seasons of what it should be, what you should do and how you have to finish it off. And so this is when it comes to February and March and that's when we'll see...
Did I read a stat recent? When did Arsenal last win the league?
2004, wasn't it?
And was it 3 seasons before that they'd finished second as well or something like that?
The Invincibles, was it, last one?
Yeah, I think the Invincibles, was it? 2, 3, 4 or something?
Do you think if Mikel Arteta was offered the Champions League or the Premier League now? I mean, I'd say Premier League all day long, but what do you... Because Arsenal have never won the Champions League. And it's obviously that's a big ambition as well.
I think he'd take the Premier League.
Take the Premier League, yeah.
Well, if he could only pick one.
Not first.
Never won the Champions League.
Yeah, I think that Mikel, because we're talking about the personality, he would want the the Premier League.
Yeah, I think for the manager, I think he
That's
wants
what I think
the Premier
he'd
League,
want, James. I think the fans obviously would want it because fuck, it's horrible when people say you'll never sing that, right? So I think that's something that I would like. But I think that he'd want he'd want the Premier League, and then he can have that large exhale and let's go for the Champions League. Let's go for it
First
now.
man to win the Champions League for Arsenal, that'd be pretty special.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just think about it. I said on Sunday or Saturday actually after the Chelsea-Liverpool game, and I saw your piece on Sunday night where you disagreed with me about. I said that I thought Caicedo now was the best midfield player in the league, and 2 midfield players over there.
What a goal, by the way.
Yeah, and I mentioned obviously Gravenberch and Rodri over the last couple of years, and Declan Rice. They're the sort of competitors for that sort of position. McAllister's done well at Liverpool as well, and there's a couple of others. But who do you see as being the best? If you could put one player into United or to City now, and it was Caicedo or it was Declan Rice, who would you say was the best midfield player in the league?
Just jump in here something as well. Scholesy, to be fair, when I was with him yesterday, he's a big fan. I'm a big fan of his, but he mentioned Tonali of Newcastle.
Yeah.
Okay, it's better than those two.
Well, I think he did, yeah.
Okay. I mean, the two lads at Newcastle have done brilliantly well. I mean, Tonali and...
Their midfield's been brilliant.
Oh, it's brilliant,
to be
their
fair,
midfield.
when
Maybe they
you
don't
watch
get the coverage
game
in
against
tonight, but
Liverpool
you do watch him. He does
Yeah.
definitely have impacts. I'm probably not going with anyone apart from Declan Rice.
Best midfield player in the league. Best midfield player in the league.
I'm a big fan of Declan Rice, to be honest. I just think he's got a bit of everything. I like now that he's pushing forward a little bit more, and I just love his work rate, his endeavour. And I think what people always like to see when you speak about the goals is the 30-yarders and whatever else, but he's back in his own box, like blocking shots, and I would probably pick Declan.
Yeah, he's kind of
Go with Rice every day of the week.
Over Caicedo.
Just that little bit, that package. He's got a little bit extra on all the other parts of Caicedo, I think. I'd go with Rice.
Yeah.
Declan Rice emphatically right. Do you want to close it off?
Yeah, Declan Rice.
To go with an Irish fella, didn't I, Rice?
Jim Ratcliffe has compared Ruben Amorim and Mikel Arteta, saying that the Arsenal manager had a miserable time over the first couple of years at Arsenal. Amorim has now managed 50 games at Manchester United, so we can compare his start to that of Mikel Arteta. Now, the first thing you're going to notice here is that Arteta had a better win rate. Amorim has won 8 fewer games than Arteta did in his first 50. They've scored a similar number of goals here, but it's the goals against which you'll see a major difference. Amorim's team has conceded 28 more goals than Arsenal did, and they've really struggled for clean sheets as well. They've conceded more than twice on 21 occasions, including against Grimsby and Burnley just this season, and they've conceded 3 or more goals on 9 occasions as well. They let in 4 at Newcastle and Brentford at the back end of last season. It's those heavy defeats which are harder to stomach for ex-players and, of course, the supporters as well. So Mikel Arteta built his side from the defence first, and he also showed a degree of flexibility. As you'll know, yes, we are talking about that formation again. Amorim has used a 3-at-the-back system in every game in charge so far. Arteta, on the other hand, used 6 different formations, including a 3-at-the-back, in his first 50 games. He went on record to say that ideally he wanted to move towards a 4-at-the-back setup, but that the players at Arsenal that were currently then at his disposal suited a back 3 or 5, and it allowed his attacking players to be in better areas of the pitch to exploit their skill set. Ruben Amorim has done something slightly different. And just to give you an idea of how things can change, this is Arteta's lineup for his 50th game in charge. Only Gabriel and Ødegaard remain. How different then might we see a Ruben Amorim lineup in a couple of years' time? So let's take a closer look at Sir Jim Ratcliffe's quote that Arteta struggled for a couple of years when he took over. We've got Arsenal's league positions by day since Arteta taken over, with the dates along the bottom. Now, like Amorim, Arteta took over in the middle of a season. It's true, there were difficult runs of results. In the first few months of the campaign, Arteta had to navigate the COVID pandemic. That's that line there. But crucially, after that period, he also won the FA Cup. Now, after a year in charge, I know your eyes are getting drawn down here. Well, I'm going to get to that bit, don't worry. But we're going to start here, because on Christmas Day 2020, Arsenal were 15th in the table with just 4 wins from their opening 14 games. Now, had stadiums been full at that point, would the outcome for Arteta and his time in charge be different? You wonder. And again, at the start of the 2021-22 season here, Arsenal lost their opening 3 games, slumping to the bottom of the table. It seemed like at a couple of different points Arsenal could have pushed the button on Arteta, but they were patient, and now there has been gradual and steady improvement. Arsenal in the title conversation for the last 3 years. Will that patience pay off for Manchester United and Sir Jim Ratcliffe if he gets 3 years?